Hi everyone, welcome back to the Palette of the Past. In today's episode, we're exploring the story of Lilith and Samael in the Bible. If you enjoy this video, give it a like and consider subscribing for more interesting stories. The Bible is full of stories and characters, and people have interpreted it in many ways. Some folks, especially in certain mystical groups, have come up with characters like Samael and Lilith. These aren't directly talked about in the main parts of the Bible, but they've become a part of Jewish mystical stories and traditions. These two figures, Samael and Lilith, carry intricate and intriguing histories, and the whispers of a romantic involvement between them suggest profound implications for the mystical narrative. In certain mystical and Kabbalistic traditions, Samael and Lilith are sometimes linked together. They are occasionally seen as a male-female pair representing dark or chaotic forces. However, these associations are not universally accepted, and interpretations may vary. As we go through their stories, we'll uncover the layers of complexity that surround these enigmatic characters and the rumored connection that binds them together. Samael is a character who's a bit of a puzzle. People link him to the tough and punishing side of God. His name, which means venom of God or blindness of God, hints that he's got a couple of roles. Sometimes he's like a prosecutor, pointing out what's wrong, and other times he's a destroyer. In some tales he even plays the role of a charmer, but it all depends on the story. Some even say he's like the Bible's version of a bad guy, maybe even like Satan. So, Samael is a complex guy in these old stories, wearing different hats depending on the situation. He is like a spiritual shapeshifter. Some folks see him as an archangel, which is like a high-ranking angel. Others think of him more like a demon, kind of on the dark side, and some even call him the angel of death. It's like he's got this mix of roles, showing how things in the spiritual world aren't always just good or bad. Instead, they're a whole bunch of different qualities all mixed up together. Thus, Samael's complex nature is a reminder that in the spiritual world, things can be a bit tricky and don't fit neatly into categories of good or evil. Now, let's talk about Lilith. Lilith isn't explicitly mentioned in the main Bible stories, but she is associated with a figure in Jewish mythology and folklore. According to some traditions, she's often known as Adam's first wife. She is said to have been created from the same dust as Adam, unlike Eve, who was created from Adam's rib. Lilith is often portrayed as a rebellious figure who refused to submit to Adam and fled the Garden of Eden. She's often seen as a bit rebellious and associated with things like seduction and demons. After she fled the Garden of Eden, people started seeing her as a demon and thought she could be a danger to newborn babies and pregnant women. Lilith is often painted as more than just Adam's first wife. She's got this intense reputation as the mother of demons. She's seen as a bit dangerous. However, Lilith isn't just about danger. She's also a symbol of independence and rebellion. She didn't play by the rules, especially those established norms everyone expected her to follow. So, while some might see her as a threat, others appreciate her as a symbol of breaking free and doing things your own way. Thus, Lilith is like a character with layers, not just a one-sided figure. The love story of Samael and Lilith is a topic that's got people talking and debating. Not everyone in the Jewish stories agrees that these two got together, but in some special Kabbalistic traditions, their union takes the spotlight. It's like a tale that's not written in every Jewish book, but when it does show up, it adds a touch of mystery and intrigue to the stories. So, the romance of Samael and Lilith is a bit like a hidden gem, known to some, but not to everyone in the world of Jewish texts. Samael and Lilith are often portrayed not just as individuals, but as equals. These two powerful beings are like magnets, drawn together in a way that embodies rebellion and defiance against the usual divine order. They're not here to follow the rules. According to some versions, when Samael and Lilith teamed up, things got a bit chaotic. It's said that their offsprings turned out to be these demonic entities causing all sorts of trouble in the world. So, while Samael and Lilith might have been this powerful duo, their union wasn't exactly smooth sailing. It came with consequences, and those consequences were a bunch of troublemaking demons causing havoc and making life tough for us humans. If we look at the love story of Samael and Lilith, it's kind of like a cosmic tragedy. Their passion wasn't all sunshine and rainbows, it led to some pretty destructive consequences. It's like their love story had a price, and that price was pretty steep. As the story goes, their union didn't just lead to trouble with their demon kids, it also pushed them further away from the divine realm. So, not only did their love story have some pretty damaging effects, but it also solidified their roles as entities who were really against the whole divine order thing. It's a bit of a heart-wrenching tale, where love and passion end up causing more pain and separation than happiness. Samael, who was already seen as a bit troublesome with his destructive job, got an extra dose of villainy after this love story unfolded. People start to really fear and suspect him. And Lilith, who was already known as a scary demon, becomes even scarier. In modern times, when people look at the story of Samael and Lilith, they see it as more than just a mystical romance gone wrong. It's like a symbol of what can happen when you go against the usual rules and norms of society. The chaos and disorder that came out of their defiance can be a warning or a lesson about the consequences of breaking away from what's considered normal or acceptable. So, in a way, their tale becomes a kind of cautionary symbol in our modern interpretations. However, here's the other side of the coin. Despite all the trouble their choices caused, Samael and Lilith's story is also about the quest for personal freedom. Both of them choose their own paths instead of going along with what everyone expects. So, when you look at their love story, with all its twists and turns, it becomes a powerful metaphor. It's like a tale of rebellion, where they're chasing after what they desire, even if it goes against what society thinks is right. But as we've seen, this rebellion comes with its own set of problems and consequences. Their story is a bit like a warning sign, but it's also a nod to the idea that sometimes chasing your own path can bring about a whole bunch of complications. So it's not just a cautionary tale, it's a story that gets you thinking about the price of going after what you want, even if it means going against the norm. Samael and Lilith, with their rebellious and independent spirits, stand out as powerful symbols in conversations about theology and culture. They represent intricate aspects of our minds and societies. The story of Samael and Lilith is a strong reminder that even in the mystical and spiritual stories, there are narratives that speak about connection, understanding, and rebellion. It's like a tale that echoes through different aspects of our lives, urging us to explore the complex threads of our own independence and defiance, both in the spiritual and everyday realms. Indeed, the tale of Samael and Lilith is not a simple love story, but one of complexity and paradox. So, while Samael and Lilith aren't the main stars of the Bible, they've become interesting characters in their own right, especially in certain mystical stories and interpretations. Thank you for watching until the end. If you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to subscribe and give the video a like. Also, feel free to share your feedback or criticism in the comments below.